All right, folks, good afternoon. Welcome, Mass Brief. I missed you guys. I am back. We're going to knock out a Mass Brief today. We got solo folks in here, AR, just about everybody. And then we're not going to do anything tomorrow because I'm actually flying up to Kissimmee at the crack of dawn to go knock out my FAA check ride for the L39. So tomorrow we're going to be, there's going to be kind of one brief for the week. I wasn't even going to do today, to be honest with you, because things are just fantastic. We'll talk. Oops, let me get rid of this stuff. Where's my disclaimer? Or I know everybody's anxious for the debrief, but it's going to be quick. Where's all my stuff? Hang on a second. But and I'm not going to use these. Oops, Mara, I got covered. Amazon, XLY, MindMed, covered. No, I don't. That's just long stock. Okay, that's what I got going on. As Mara got upgraded today, mining, all sorts of stuff, which we'll talk about. Nice whatever percent pop out of Mara. I bought 3,000 more shares, sold some upside calls, and starting to dig myself out of the self-induced hole I'm in. So we'll talk about that. Okay. Let me give you a 50,000 foot view of where Wiz is right now. I have never felt a greater peace, happiness, gratitude, joy. I've never had as much clarity. This weekend was, without a doubt, was life-changing, absolutely incredibly life-changing. And I said it twice, but those words do not do it justice at all. So let me give you the administrative items. I am under an NDA until I went down there with four of the greatest Americans you're ever gonna know. High profile individuals who are going to, we were laughing about using this term, come out. They're going to come out on their own, and they have their stories to tell. So I'm hanging out in the background, so to speak, until my brothers kind of. So I'll leave it at that. So it's incredible. So they say the next 2 to 4 weeks is they call it the pink cloud phase. Like everything is just fantastic, and it really. I have a new lease on life. I have a new lease on my family. 20 years of therapy in a weekend. The benefits of this to people with depression, PTSD, addiction, traumatic brain injury, CTE. It's saving lives, and I could not be more humble, gracious. I'm going to go full throttle with the foundation and helping these folks, Marcus, Amber, the people I were down there with. I can't. Words fail me. So I'm going to wait a couple weeks before I give you all my complete debrief. Some is between me and God, and literally, you're not going to believe. Some of you are going to believe what I tell you eventually. Some of you might not. It is the absolute truth. So I feel fantastic. I've never had more clarity of purpose. Had a yoga session this morning that was absolutely insane. So I don't want to oversell it, but I don't need to oversell it. The veterans that we're going to save and help. I'm It feels enormous, the mission that I have ahead of me, but I am going to accept it and literally go full throttle. I've never. I know a lot of you could probably use a better debrief, and you're going to get that. But I just, I just, let me tell you this. I'm hoarse for a reason, and when you hear the reason, it's going to be shocking, and then it's going to be funny, and then it's going to go back to shocking. So I'm a little hoarse, but it was fantastic. I just can't I just can't say enough. Not going to oversell it. Life changing, new lease on life, new relationship with the divine, and the. So I think Bob's like, hey, still bullish on MindMed? I want to buy the company. It's just this is the next wave, and I got to be honest, we were all like, we will put this has got to be stunning for the pharmaceutical companies. These guys, a couple of the guys that I went with, the one doctor that was down there, one of the veterans, grabbed the doctor and he said, "You're the only doctor who, as you're leaving, cured me." And the doctor started crying. He's like, "I've had doctors, 17 or whatever." He lost count of his. He's like, "Not one of them ever cured me." He's like, "You cured me, doc." And this guy was like, lost it. So it's interesting because the pharmaceutical companies can't put this out of business, to be honest with you. As we were down there, the Texas legislature, I think the Senate vote was unanimous. And once you get your debrief from me, you're going to recognize that there are no better advocates for these medicines and this treatment than the most elite warriors this country has ever produced, who have been discarded, who have been thrown pills, who have been on the verge of suicide. With one treatment, some of the staff guys, some of the operators who work there, DUIs, arrests, suicide, one weekend changed their life. It's shocking. So it's really hard to, like I said, I hate dancing around NDAs, but I'm a man of my word and my signature. So once the other dudes get their chance to, because they have massive national exposure and credibility, not me. But I will tell you from the from the aviation side, this opens it opens the door to everything. The vision in my right eye, which was going, is near flawless. The pain in my back that I've had since I can remember is gone. My tinnitus is still there, but it's a little better, or maybe I just know how to deal with it better. So, but I did not expect Boeing tinnitus gone type of thing. So they said this weekend was 5%, and the 95% is still to come. I got coaching calls. We have groups. And our little group we are now brothers. We're already flying up to Nashville next weekend, which you'll find out why in a little bit. Going to be going to Texas. Going to go out to Lake Tahoe. It's life changing, guys. So I can't even. So you're welcome. I'm dying. You guys know me, man. I love to talk. So, but again, this a man of my word and my NDA. Everybody was like, nah, I'm cool. I'm like, you guys go first, type of thing. I'm not, I got time. You know what? I got forever, to be honest with you, and I realized that this weekend. So, I missed you guys, and let's get to work. Okay. It was. Yeah, I got to be honest with you. The digital detox over the week. I mean, they took our phone. They're like, nope, which was fantastic. Just being able to disconnect. Knowing that the loved ones are everything's okay, right? I'm doing that more. I'm going to digital detox a hell of a lot more. was great. And then when I came up on the net, when we got back to San Diego Monday morning, kind of checked in with the Max Afterburner group. Hey, I'm alive, guys. But just really, kind of looked at some stuff in the market. I'm like, hey, it's there. It's a whole new perspective. So, and I appreciate all the stuff in the chat box. I will, after we end, you guys don't have to sit here because I'm going to go back and I'm going to read everything because there's like 100 comments right now. Um, but no, it's good to be back. I didn't bring this thing. I didn't bring the laptop. So I actually was in the hotel yesterday. Went down to the lobby. I'm that guy in the lobby computer. I'm like, let me open my E-Trade account. And I'm like, hey, look at that, Mara, Amazon. I'm like, all right, power of positive thinking. I sold. We'll go through my positions in a couple seconds. Sold some upside calls and walked away. I think I did like 3 minutes of care about the market, and then uh, you know, didn't care, or I care, but um, yeah. Let me share with you a couple things though, because Monday night, I got an email or a text from American Airlines. Your flights to Fort Lauderdale are canceled tomorrow. I'm like, old me would have a gasket would have flown out of my neck, right? And then I'm like, that's okay. What's the worst thing that happens? I stay in San Diego. And then I get like a rebooking announcement. I flew out there in first class just because I'm tall, man. I can't eat my knees, not because I'm bourgeois, but I need a little room. And they rebooked me on these awful flights back to Fort Lauderdale, back in coach, like middle seat, last aisle. And then you know what I did? I was absolutely at peace. I'm like, God, thank you for giving me an opportunity to practice, non-attachment and some loving kindness. It's all good, man. And I'm telling you, old me would have been bouncing around the hotel room. So I get to the airport yesterday morning, and I just, I go up to the gate agent, and I'm like, hey, and the dude was getting yelled at by 90 people anyway. But I'm for a change, and that's so bad to say. For a change, I was absolutely nice, but old me would have had an attitude like, hey man, I paid for first, and you know what, I would have been the next person in line to give this guy shit, and I could not have been just I was nice, and it's embarrassing for me to say I was nice because that's not a good thing. And the guy, he's like, hey, here's your first class seat. I'm like, all right, that's a little weird, but hey man, thank you. Got to Dallas, same thing happened. I was back in, like Elaine in Seinfeld, sitting next to the toilet, and they're like, "Hey, Edward Buckley." I'm like, "Yeah, it's me." They're like, "Hey, here's your first class seat." I'm like, "All right, man." So, and then you're really, really, really going to appreciate this. I took a journal with me, and I wrote everything down. On the way out there, 2 or 3 days before, I wrote all in this journal about my and reading the before days, like before everything. I reread it the after. I'm like, oh my god, it's insane, guys. But after my experiences, in between, on Saturday was what they call it the gray day, and just hanging out and looking over at the Pacific. I wrote for an hour. I mean, just everything that occurred, and it was, and then got back to San Diego, went up to the roof of this pool and wrote, and just it was fantastic. I forgot what good keeping a journal can be. Uh, and on the airplane home last night, I wrote even more, looking out the window at that the absolute spectacular moon. Susie picked me up from the airport, and it just, it was like coming home from deployment. For my military sisters and brothers, you know what that feeling is, seeing your loved one. It felt like that. Get home, and get ready to go to bed, and I go to grab my journal. I left it on the airplane. I left it on the airplane. Again, old whiz, that would have been it. So I actually I went in my, back. I gave it up to God, and I said, hey man, left my journal. And then Saint Susie was like, I'll go see if I can. She got in the damn car and drove all the way back down to Fort Lauderdale Airport at 11:30. like terminals closing type of thing. She ran into another saint who was like, "Hey, let's go." They moved the airplane. It's like packed for the night, parked for the night. You know, don't keep your hopes up type of thing. And lady ended up kind of going out of her way and came out with my journal. And I got to be honest with you, first of all, little things like that would have made me lose my shit. But little things like that now are indicative of a lot of things, and I'm going to leave it at that. So anyway, I don't want to take up more of your time, 16 minutes of your times uh, like this, but I will. I promise you, you guys are my sisters and my brothers. I will give you the full debrief. I still need some time over the next couple weeks to unpack uh, everything, and then we'll have a come to Jesus, so to speak, and it will be that quite quite literally, it'll be a come to Jesus, but in a good way. Usually, my come to Jesus is in the squadron. We're not good. Anyway, so and connecting back into life, looking at the Drudge Report or looking at Fox News, there was kind of a detached. Uh, it wasn't me looking at this stuff. It was like kind of somebody else looking at me looking at this stuff. I wasn't like over the weekend. Kind of. Did you see all this stuff? Like the Washington Post. The Washington Post fact checker went back and started to change some of this shit from a year ago. Do you see everything that's going on? I told you a year and 2 months ago, it escaped from a lab in Wuhan. I know for a fact. I know the intelligence. Period. I knew what happened. I told you what happened. I get back from my life changing experience, and now I see Biden, and Fauci, and so they're changing articles now. Remember, I told you they needed an enemy. They needed Trump. How dare you, you racist, say it escaped from a lab? It didn't, and it's your fault. And whiz in Facebook jail, whiz in Facebook jail, whiz in Twitter jail. If you say it originated in a lab, you're a conspiracy theorist. Right? You guys remember that? I got smacked around. I'm like, you're lying. I said it. Right? We, ladies and gentlemen, were right. Save you time. I just bought 500 shares more of MindMed. We'll talk about more MindMed in a little bit. It was creepy. I landed in San Diego, gear down, touchdown. I pulled up my phone, and the Afterburn group's like, "Hey, the California legislature just passed out of committee another MindMed type of thing. Stock's up 10%." I'm like, "All right, man, that's really weird." Um, but anyway, so I started seeing all this stuff over the weekend or yesterday and flying back. I'm like, oh, oh, really? It might have escaped from the lab. Guys, we knew this. I told you. I told you back at the time. I said, if you were Xi Jinping with 4 million protesters running around in Hong Kong wearing MAGA hats, spray painting, give me liberty or give me death, what would you have done? Tiananmen Square? He could have done it. Remember we saw the satellite images or the images of force People's Liberation Army forces around the stadium, whatever the right across from Hong Kong is. Like they were thinking about storming in. And Taiwan, if you wanted to placate 4 million people on an island and placate another island, what would you do? You'd get them sick. And then you'd ride in on your white horse and give them the vaccine. Like, oh, look, we'll cure you. And then they own Hong Kong and Taiwan without firing a shot. I told you last week before I left, ladies and gentlemen, that Chinese professor, he's on tape. We beat the United States in a trade, something else, and biological war. We defeated the United States in an attack last year. Did you hear that? So it's a disgrace. The Democrats are a disgrace. The media is a disgrace. These people lied, and anybody who actually spoke the truth was banned. I'm still waiting for my apology. Governor DeSantis, he will be the next president or shortly. He signed a law in Florida that says I can sue one of the tech companies for their censorship. Don't think that's not on one of my to-dos list. I'll be that guy too. So things the winds are starting to change a little bit, and we can only pray that right overcomes what these people are doing to this country. They're destroying it. They're siding. Do you see that coward John Cena? What a effing coward. If you don't know who that is, he's like that wrestler. He kind of became popular recently. I'm done. He's on my shit list. I forgive him. He's one with God and all that stuff, but the man's a coward. He's in the new Fast and Furious 92 or whatever movie they're up to right now. The other day, he apparently said, well, the film's releasing like on the in the country of Taiwan first. China lost their shit. Hours later, the guy's playing a weepy video apologizing for calling Taiwan a country. The Chinese Communist Party owns Hollywood. They own the NBA. John Cena is a coward. I hope you hear this, John Cena. You're a coward. I don't give a shit if you're bigger than me. You're a coward. Nothing but a coward. We're laughing about Tom Cruise's jacket on the new Maverick movie. He had the flag of Taiwan on his stupid-looking jacket, leather jacket for Top Gun. The flag of Taiwan is gone. He apologized in Mandarin. I wouldn't doubt it. So, folks, we all know this. We're smart because we're Top Gun options. But we're at war with China. War doesn't necessarily, and one of our 500 pounds heads over here is Ponch. A brilliant guy, man. He finds all this stuff. He's running around the intelligence space and the DoD space, and he's on the cutting edge of a lot of warfare stuff. And warfare, to be honest with you folks, in the future will not be dudes running out of a Higgins boat on Omaha Beach. It's this. It's what China's doing. It's owning Hollywood. It's subliminal warfare. It's fifth generation where it's owning these tech companies and getting rid of voices of dissent like me. It's a serious. They are an enemy of the United States of America. Period. A mortal enemy. But Joe Biden's crackhead son on Air Force Two, doing deals with China, all sorts of shit. Still never got to the bottom of all that stuff, but still waiting for Hunter Biden to be arrested by the FBI. You guys know this, right? He's a effing crackhead. He wrote a book about it. On your federal firearms application, it says, are you an effing crackhead or ever were? No. If you lie on this form, it's a felony, punishable by 5 years in prison. Could you imagine if Donald Trump changed the name to Trump Jr.? FBI Secret Service, not a word. You try and lie on your application. I guarantee you go to jail. Anyway, it's ugly, ladies and gentlemen, with China. I worry about the future of our country because China is going to destroy us. Period. They did it under Bill Clinton. They hacked into our submarine technology and sent us back. I talked to a 4-star one time. He's like, a quarter of a century was their hacks into our subs, secret stuff. They're in the universities, guys. They have People's Liberation Army agents in the universities as professors. Wink. Anyway, I'm going to leave China alone, but it's just shocking to me, from John Cena to LeBron James to what they're doing to the Bitcoin stuff. We'll talk about the mining. I mean, I hop on an airplane and you guys break Bitcoin. that's with the restrictions on mining. It's funny because let me read this because on the way out on the airplane, where is it? In the Wall Street Journal, I had to take a picture of it because the article was talking about, some of the drawbacks with crypto. So let's kind of slide over to crypto real quick. Let me say this. Let me read this. I hate reading stuff because it's not mine, but it's said better. To begin with, the volatility of cryptos is a major drawback. For a speculative risk asset, volatility is somewhat desirable. Duh, right. We're options traders. We love volatility. We live off of it. So for a speculative asset, you want volatility. For a currency, it's most decidedly not. You talk to Goose over in the Afterburner group. Currency folks, like, if a half a loony moves a quarter of a point, it means the world's ending. So you don't want like $10,000 swings in a quote currency, right? Nor is it reassuring that a cryptic tweet by Elon Musk on Wednesday appeared to be what triggered the partial rebound. So if you're looking at something as a currency that's dependent on tweets from a dude who smokes weed and talks about 420 on his Twitter account, you're in for a treat. A high degree of uncertainty as to what Bitcoin will be worth in the near future makes it hard to rely on as a medium of exchange. Who in their right mind would take payment for something in Bitcoin when the next day, I'm going to buy my house in Bitcoin. Here's $3 million worth of Bitcoin. And it just went down 50% the next day. It sucks for you, right? I mean, does that make sense to anybody? Right? Yeah, whiz to fly hit Bitcoin. The payment you are taking for a good or service today might not be exchangeable for other goods and services next week at anything near what you thought. It is a basic but important point. Think about that. Okay. Secondly, the apparent cause of the most recent volatility is troubling. On Tuesday, 3 Chinese industry bodies issued a joint notice barring financial institutions and payment companies from accepting crypto as payment or using them as a means of settlement, according to Chinese state media reports, right? The fact that listen to this. This is Wiz for the past 2 years, but said nicer. The fact that a government intervention like this can send values plunging undermines a key plank of the case for crypto and Bitcoin, that they are hedges against the capricious actions of sovereign entities. Having their fortunes depend on the favor of the CCP is hardly what many libertarian crypto evangelists have in mind. It's going to be independent from all this stuff. It ain't. Cryptocurrency's appeal as speculative assets can survive any number of sell-offs, but to fully realize their potential as currencies, they may need cooperation from the very governments and financial systems they were originally intended to circumvent. I want that to sink in. To fully realize their potential as currencies, they may need cooperation from the very government and financial systems they were designed to get around. Mic drop. What does Wiz always say? In the battle between a government and central bank and a made up something, I'm going with the government and central bank. Period. Okay? So, but at the end of the day, who cares? One of our other 500-pound heads, Jeffrey, hell, he's in where Tennessee, he's mining his own Bitcoin, sees these farms and everything like that. It's a lot of posturing by the Chinese government. And, Elon Musk is another coward. Oh, I love the environment now as he blasts a Saturn V into the atmosphere. You can see Greta Thunberg in the exhaust. I care about mining one Bitcoin as I blow apart the atmosphere. Come on, dude. So, I believe in Mara. I believe in the mining stuff, but the underlying, I got to be honest with you, I'm a little leery about. So my Mara positions, I got 10,000 up here. I sold the 24s yesterday morning. Got 5,000 shares here. I sold the 25s, and then I bought 3,000 this morning, and I sold the 26s. I'm kind of taking a layered approach as Mara starts to climb out of the doldrums here. Okay. So that's kind of my Mara brief. Let's get back to here. We all know what's going on, guys. We've said this for a couple weeks, not a couple months. I mean, remember the first Jerome Powell scare back here? Here's our, Wall Street bets, Reddit, GameStop. How about GameStop? But this was the first inflation scare. This was the first time Jerome Powell really had to man up and go, "Whoa, it's okay. Trust me." No, inflation. Trust me. Trust me. Trust me. Every one of these, holy shit, there's inflations, we get a trust me out of the Fed. So are we getting to the point, Bob, I don't. Good question, Bob. Bob says, "Hey, what do you do when your mayor calls are in the money?" I celebrate and I ignore them. I don't touch them. Mainly because so Bob, you can be a roller. This is a pilot and command decision, Bob. If you want to keep the stock, maybe you roll them. I'm not a roller. Take a look at the 3-month chart here, Mara. 6 month. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down level. I don't mind. So, Bob, here's how I manage my short calls. I don't. The only way I manage my short calls, Bob, is if Mara goes down. I close them, maybe roll them down. I play with the downside, Bob. I don't play with the upside. If they're going to get called away on Friday, yay! I celebrate Saturday morning with a cup of coffee and some bacon and eggs. And Monday morning, I'll buy a shitload more Mara and sell some at the money calls. I don't like chasing it because I know Mara can be volatile. We're looking at Mara right now at 25.80. By Friday, it could be at $24 again. So I more or less, Bob, to the upside. Mara upside calls for me, or set it and forget it. But you can be a roller. I don't want them to get called away. Roll the calls up. There's still so much volatility in those calls that if you roll them up, you could be good to go. So, okay, good question. But let's get back to this. The futures jump as coordinated central bankers push back on inflation fears. Here we go again. We all know, because we live in the real world. I was in San Diego. I'm like looking at the cost of stuff. I'm like, oh my God. Inflation is alive and well. Don't worry about it. Okay. All right, Jerome. But taper is coming. Guys, we all know it's going to come. I'm starting to get to the point. I didn't make my mastermind call this morning. They want to hear a debrief too. I'm getting to the point where I believe the market's okay. We've already. I'm not going out on a limb. I'm telling you what I feel because I think it already. This and some of this is our TT. We're done. Our taper tantrum is complete, in my opinion. Now I'm going to give Jerome credit. I'm not going to give Janet credit because she lied. They're going to have to raise rates soon. Oh, I was wrong. Don't walk back the truth, Madam Secretary. Stick with there's only one truth, man, and it will set you free. Playing like that, I do not respect that woman for that move that day. Period. Because it is a lie. When you say the truth and then you walk it back, and we're all sitting here like, you look dumb. You look, the emperor has no clothes. Oh, I don't want to see that. So I believe that we're okay. Look at this. Over the last month, look at the headlines that we've gotten. Bullard. I think what is he, St. Louis? U.S. may be getting close to the point where pandemic is over. Then attention could turn to what? Post-pandemic monetary. Brainerd. You ready? I'm not going to read all these. They've essentially, for the past month, done what? They've prepped the battlefield. Okay? So, I think for the short term, define short term, Wiz. Good question, Wiz. 3 to 6 months, we're okay. We might get an announcement of you know what, we are kind of sort of thinking that things are good and we're looking good. We might get a knee-jerk, oh my God, he actually said it. It will be a buy the dip. I'm going to pat myself on the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5.5. Every one of these, I told you, what's this? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, Tech Rec 5, I told you to buy. Every one of these was a buy. Even though it looked bad, I didn't, to me, it looked like a buying opportunity. And we did. I did some. So and maybe it's my newfound whatever. The next 3 to 6 months, bullish. Why am I ending my leash around 6 months? We're starting to get into the fall. You all know as well as I do, the one of the most volatile months in the stock market is October. We might get the Jackson Hole meeting as a, hey, how are things looking? type of thing. We might be a little hot with the inflation. So I'm going to stay bullish for 3 to 6 months and then maybe start looking to trim the sails a little bit. After why 6 months? After that, guys, I think all bets are off. If crazy Uncle Joe gets to do what he wants to do, I saw some sanity come in. I saw before I went south, like the Republicans had whatever it was. I don't know the numbers. 900 billion in infrastructure. They came back with like 1.9, which is it's so dumb, guys. I can't stand Nancy Pelosi. I can't stand Chuck Schumer. I send them love. They need it, especially a quote Catholic like Nancy Pelosi. She needs to get one with God, man. Trump gave them that. They didn't want to do it in front of the election. God forbid you do something for America that would have maybe helped. How would it have helped just Donald Trump? Could you imagine if Nancy and Chuck and Trump had actually gotten in the same room and signed an infrastructure bill, man? How this country could have healed? The egos of these people. Ego is sin, man. I learned that the hard way. Separation is the original sin, man. It's insane. So bullish. How about this guy, man? Jeff Bezos. Did you see yesterday? I don't think I have it up here. Oh, how about this? Senate preparing $10 billion bailout fund for Jeff Bezos' space firm. What? What was 10 billion before, Wiz? 10 billion to me seems to see that number rings a bell. Was that the Jedi contract that Microsoft got? Bezos Blue Origin lost its bid for the contract, but the Senate is ordering the agency to give it a second one now. Huh. Maybe those political donations did pay off. Maybe the ass-kissing tweet from Jeff Bezos, like on Inauguration Day, "Congrats, Mr. President, we stand by to help you distribute the vaccine." And then this news, man. With Amazon, we above 3,300. Of course, I sold some short calls yesterday, and it zipped up here. So let's go back to Bob's question on short calls. I've been having a blast for the past couple months trading in and out of Amazon short calls. I think I made like 6-7 grand last week just selling some upside calls. When they go down, I buy them back. When they go up, right now, I could make $3,600, $3,700 by Friday. Right now, they're a little underwater. So, Bob, to you and to other people, remember this synthetic stock position up here is not what? A covered call. I am not covered on these short calls. I'm a little covered, meaning this. The synthetic position underneath my Amazon, with Amazon ripping higher, is doing great. It's making money. But those short calls, folks, on Friday, if Amazon is above I sold the 3,300s, I got to close them. I don't have to close them. If I don't close them, what happens? I wake up Saturday morning in my bunny slippers, short 400 shares of Amazon. Knock on wood, the past couple months, I've woken up Saturday morning with some short shares of Amazon. It's worked out for me because Amazon's giving it back like Monday or Tuesday, and I actually made a good profit. So not only did I keep the short call money that I brought in, the shares went down, and one of those weeks I got out, like it went down $50 that Monday, and I made a nice amount of money, and then it imploded the rest of the day. I'm like, new me would not have gone, never gone broke taking a profit. So, so great news out of Amazon. I think we have that solo Amazon bull put zipping along. Everybody happy with that? Let's just take a look at what we're doing here. I'm very happy. All our positions are fantastic. There was some good chop last week, folks. This was a good dead cat bounce here. Implosion, bounce off the 50 implosion. This is very bullish. This kind of double bounce here, even with a drill bit. I told you to buy that one. I told you to buy that one. There is no, having no fear in this market right now is a bad thing, but oops, let me log in. But so we have a good looking bull put spread. with Amazon. And then if you logged in early, you saw what I did. I sold some upside calls against XLY. I sold, of course, right here, and it kept going up. I sold down here, the 172s out the Friday. Excuse me. You guys are going to die when I tell you why I'm hoarse. It's a little unbelievable, but it isn't. We're solo Amazon. Yeah, if you're long in that synthetic stock, I sold the 172s. Maybe you do the 172 and a half. So we have the 3150, 3140 bull put spread. The 3150. I never got filled on this one. 30 out to the regular June expiration, right? I'd close this one. Let's take a look at what it is. 3150. We'll do $10. 3150. Somebody tell me what it's up right now, so I have to do the math. If you're in it, $1.82. Oh, it's okay. 38%. No, I wouldn't close it then. Never mind. I misspoke. What was the credit we got in at? Or some folks got 302. 302 and 180. Oops. 302 minus 1.8 times. How many contracts did we do? 15. Yeah, 15. $1,800. Nice trade. Jeff got in at 350. That's even better. Wow. Elliot, with short calls that are in the money, I monitor extrinsic value on the position page. Good for you. If it gets below 10 cents, I'll roll or close to avoid assignment of the short shares. That's good. I like that. Let me say it again slowly. Elliot says, with short calls that are in the money, I monitor extrinsic value on the position page. If it gets below 10 cents, I'll roll or close to avoid assignment. I like that. That's a good rule of thumb. So he's flying his own SOP, right? Oh yeah, and when I was gone, how about like the whole Israel thing? God, we were going to the yeah, my XLY is right here. I sold 10 of the 172s out to Friday for my XLY position. Well, we're going to look right now at an XLY bull put spread. Just great momentum in XLY. I'm bullish on XLY as long as I am on Amazon. So we're going to do a matching trade on the XLY. What was I talking about? Oh, Israel. How about Anthony Blinken? Probably he's just like a Mr. Magoo Secretary of State. Did you see Netanyahu on stage with him the other? So not only have the Chinese flown to America in Alaska and sat there and lit up our Secretary of State, don't you lecture us about human rights? Your Black Lives Matter, killing African Americans, and this and that. That dude from China was awesome. He spit back in Blinken's face 4 years of Democrat talking points under Trump about why this country sucks. Gave it to the Secretary of State, and he's like, "Oh, does that sound familiar, dude?" And then Netanyahu on stage the other day with Blinken, he gave the obligatory like 30 seconds about, yeah, we'd love to have peace and blah blah blah. But anyway, if Iran thinks they're going to get a nuclear weapon, I will destroy them. Blinken's like, because Blinken, and he looks at the guy, he's like, and I hope you're not going to make the stupid move of getting back into the JCPOA. That's just dumb. And Blinken's like, well, we're reaching out to Iran through diplomatic. Netanyahu's like, I'm going to blow him up. Anybody who threatens the existence of the state of Israel is an enemy, and I'll kill him. It's awesome. Netanyahu is fantastic. Yeah, exactly. Netanyahu had a great statement. He said, If Hamas stops firing rockets, there will be peace. If Israel stops firing rockets, there will be no Israel. Let that sink in. The dude's right. I can't stand the squad. Those disgusting I'm sorry, God. Those people who are challenged. They're anti-Semitic. They're just, they got the grace of God in them running around somewhere. But the fact that you just can't, literally, you just have to stand there and get punched 50 times in the face. And when you punch back, it's your fault. It's like in hockey, right? The guy who beats the shit out of you doesn't get called. And then when you hit back, it's like, you go to the penalty box. It's wrong. I support Israel. I do not support a bartender congresswoman and a woman from Somalia. Thank you, Barack Hussein Obama. Remember when Obama, people are like, who votes for these people? Who votes for Ilhan Omar? Somalians. Barack Hussein Obama picked up 80,000 Somalis and dropped them in Minnesota. That's who votes for her. Of course they're going to vote for her. It's insane. Jeff, if you are skeptical about the Fed, why wouldn't you want to invest in Bitcoin or other crypto as a hedge? Jeff, I don't know if you came in late. I just read from my phone from the Wall Street Journal. I took a picture of the article. I gave you 3 reasons why I wouldn't invest in Bitcoin. Real quickly, it's incredibly volatile. How can you say it's a hedge against the Fed when one day it's up 15 grand and the next it's down 30 grand? That ain't stable. If you want something that is an alternative to currency, it should be what? Stable. And also, Jeff, in the battle between the Fed and the United States government or the Chinese Communist Party and a made up, what do you call it? What, you know what? We're taking a break. Here we go. I want you in the chat box to tell me what cryptocurrency is to you. A currency? A store of value? Nothing. Go. A lottery ticket. A joke. Nothing. 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 Something to avoid. A gambling ship. A store of value. Nothing. Volatility. Nothing. Nothing. Tulip bulbs. Speculation. Speculative. Nothing. 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 Store of value. Garbage. Lottery ticket. Fake money. Science fiction. Means nothing, like an empty promise. Good job, Vanessa. Roll the dice. Nothing. Hot air can be blown away. Currency someday. Smoke and mirrors. A ledger. A pump and dump. Nothing. Not a store of value. I think Ponzi. I think out of all of that, I got Elizabeth, a trade. Good one. Out of all of that, I think I got 3 store of values. Okay. So that's us. That was just our group. Jeff, a 0.08 position size. Bob, a speculative future asset. Elliot, an instrument to trade. I loved this answer because I'm telling you, years ago with my crypto buddy Scientologist, my JetBlue buddy, Captain, and L39 buddy, he's like, it's peer-to-peer and blockchain and wallet. Nobody sees anything I do. I'm like, okay. Say that again for the microphone for Uncle Sam. You know, and the last thing I'll say on this, Jeff, like the Wall Street Journal article said, he's like, hey, man, if you look at it as a currency, it's going to need kind of some help from the same governments it's trying to say that we're avoiding. I'm telling you, folks, India outlawed it for a while. China could wake up tomorrow and go, it's illegal, get out. The United States could wake up tomorrow and do the same thing. So, and listen to me. Men lie, numbers don't. Look at my positions, man. I got $430,000 worth of Mara. I know that this is a grenade. I don't like it. This isn't revenge trading. I'm actually employing volatility in this position. It's a mining company. Miners are outlawed as of midnight tonight. Mara goes to 0. Nice 400 grand with you. Should have bought another jet. I am. So I am the pilot in command of my Mara. Not you guys, me. So I get the risk, but don't talk to me that this thing's a store of value. How can you call it a store of value when the value fluctuates so much? Somebody value this for me. It's funny to go online and read about some of the crypto Scientologists. I see Bitcoin at 8 million in 2 years. How? I don't know. What? At least, and again, guys, Wall Street's been around for a while. You can sit there with an analyst at Goldman Sachs and say, here is my value of Walmart, forward PE, cash, the value of a bond. I get it. That's the left side of the chart, and my father and mother's stock market. It ain't today. I get it. I wouldn't be investing in Amazon if I looked at, quote, fundamentals. Here's my revenue. Here's how much profit we make. That's Amazon. I would have never bought that company, old me, like if you showed me that chart. But that's old me. I am new me today. So, long answer to your short question there, Jeff. But Bitcoin is not a hedge against currency or this or that or anything else. It's everything everybody just said it was, in our opinion, right? So, Silvana, I love what you just said. Savannah's a woman after my own heart because she just said, well, where do we go when the dollar's worthless? Savannah, until, again, I always use the analogy of musical chairs, right? Why do I do that? We all know the hundreds of people in this room know that what? The dollar's bullshit. We also know that Vlad and Xi talk. They signed a strategic pact after the election. They just signed another one recently. Do you not think that Xi and Putin sit in a room and go, so when do we destroy the US dollar? When's that on our calendar for? They're going to do it. The Saudis, our ally in the region, you turn your back, they cut you up and dissolve you in acid. They don't like that the oil is priced in the US dollar. The US dollar is in a shitload of trouble. We all know it. So, Silvana, until the music stops with the dollar, you got to walk around. Keep an eye on the damn chair you want to jump into. But Silvana, and I'm going to try not to laugh when I say this. You ready? The United States dollar is backed by the full faith and credit of the United States government. I laughed. It's a joke. It's backed by gold in Fort Knox? It's backed by what, Sylvan? Anything that has value is backed by what? Belief. Bitcoin is backed by a belief that it's worth 38 grand. Tesla is backed by a belief. So we, for now, Savannah, believe that the US dollar has value. The day you and I have to go buy a loaf of bread like Weimar, Germany, with a wheelbarrow full of dollars, we're in trouble. But we can be thankful, Savannah, that God is great because we're here at Top Gun Options and we'll pound it into the dirt. When, not if, the music stops with this, we will be there to print money. Wiz, is the misconception about cryptos, Bitcoin, the result of a lack in knowledge about macroeconomics? Werner, there's a lot to do with FOMO. Some of the folks I was hanging out with this weekend, the Dogecoin, people are getting destroyed, right? That Dogecoin thing. And so whoever wrote the Tulips Mania, if you're not familiar with tulips, the Tulips Mania, Google it and read about it. Bitcoin to me is Tulips Mania. I don't mind being completely wrong. You guys know I'm usually the first one to admit it. If Bitcoin's $1 billion in a year, and all of you, the Bitcoiners in here, are billionaires, please invite me to my yacht, your yacht. I'll bring some champagne and I will toast to your success. I don't have FOMO, right? But the fact, Werner, that so many people have FOMO, they don't look at the reasons behind it. I'm buying a meme coin that Elon Musk talks about. Where's the thought behind it? So, Werner, there is no thought to macroeconomics. Matter of fact, I will be nice, but to some of my friends who trade these cryptos, they don't know what the words macroeconomic means. And I'm being nice. Hey, that's a good point, David. Very good point. Tulips still exist. So, Sid, that's not a bad red team. Okay, if we're going on belief that the dollar has value, then I think maybe there's belief that at some point Bitcoin will have value. That's the key, Sid. For my serious brothers and sisters who are in Bitcoin, Sid just kind of put a little summary slide on it. I'll agree with that. But folks, we're all holding it up, right? We're all holding the Bitcoin thing up with a little bit of faith. If somebody who's a massive whale over here, the right pillar, just kind of says, "Oh well, shit, I'm out." I don't think there's this implosion of the dollar unless there's food lines type of shit. Unless the dollar ain't being held up by all of us; it's being held up by the United States government. Bitcoin's being held up by hope, right? So be careful, folks. I'm selling mine if it reaches $1 billion. Exactly. Other David, check the price of the tulips today. Exactly. That's exactly right. The tulips ain't worth what they were at what? Somebody tell me, what was the height of the tulip? Let me go to MindMed, and then I got to move because I got to go out to the airport, and I'm going to go fly to get ready for my check ride tomorrow. We'll do XLY in a second. So Ann, the answer is, so Ann asked, why is MindMed trading down or moving sideways? And here's my immediate answer. I don't care. I don't care at this point. I'm building up a little bit of a nest egg with my Mara and my Amazon short calls where I'm going to buy thousands and thousands of more of MindMed. This was if for those of you who watched Axe Capital, watched Billions and Axe and Wags when they went to Canada for their ayahuasca journey. I did not do that, clearly. But I'm a hedge fund guy now. I literally went and put eyes on something I'm investing in, got back, and would sell the wife and kids and mortgage the house and buy more of it. That's how good I feel. I'm being facetious, clearly, but I could not be more bullish on this space, folks. If you're in this, you are a first mover. You are in this. And in my opinion, based on the doctors that I talked to this weekend, the folks in the space, Navy SEALs, this is going to explode. You might wake up one day and this thing is up 1,500%. It might be one of those things, God willing. Actually, first of all, God willing, but I know this is going to happen. My commit criteria has changed for MindMed. Oh my God, that means I eject? No, my commit criteria for MindMed, I deleted all 5 sentences and wrote me. You can't. Okay. So I have no clue what's going on with MindMed, and I don't care. The fact that they have the fact that this stuff is getting around to the point of becoming either legal, and it's a disgrace. Somebody in this room explained to me how a government can outlaw what God created. God created these plants. God didn't create a couple dudes in a lab with a beaker to go, hey, take all these pills. A plant, a root, or whatever. How dare the United States government do what they did? All this shit got caught up in the 1984 war on drugs. Okay, Nancy, it's saving lives. We don't care. People are starting to care. All of that research that led up to that is being reattacked right now. When you got Rick Perry, Senator Kerry, not the traitor, the hero, when you got people I will tell you I went with eventually, this is it, folks. This is the next big thing, period. You can microdose on some of the stuff. There will be it will be an industry, period. When we first talked about this weeks ago, I was bullish on it. And we talked about the 2 billion hedge fund guy. He credits his absolute success as a hedge fund manager to it. I'm not going to ramble more. My commit criteria has changed. I have a picture of me in my journal. Remember the Hair Club for Men commercial? The guy would hold up a picture. He's like, I'm not only a member, I'm not only the president, I'm a member. That's me. They don't, Maria. They don't want people to be healed. It's a disgrace. It's sad. It breaks my heart. The VA is an awful organization. I don't care. And talking to the guys that were down there, their VA stories are nightmares. You want to know why veterans off themselves one every hour? It's the VA. I'd say 90% of it. All right, let's go. Bull put spread. I'm going out to match the Amazon bull put spread. 170 out to regular June expiration. Excuse me. 300. Oh, which account? I got to use this account. Bullish XLY. Elon Musk, he's a strange ranger, man. He really needs to just shut up and, just shut up, dude. Run or not run. You're not even the CEO anymore, right? You're like the chief. He and Bezos took themselves out of those roles to go up to battle space up here. The men who build America, they're the men who are rebuilding America Part 2. So Amazon's on fire. Tesla's on fire. Tom Cruise, I'm on fire. Ricky Bobby, help me, Oprah. Come down from your spaceship, XLY. 170, 169 bull put spread out to June, regular June. I looked at this earlier. I loved it. I didn't get it because I wanted to wait for you all. I missed you guys, man. No lie, though, it felt pretty damn good to get away. No offense. And to just get right with God, myself, everything. I love this one. And kind of like Amazon, next week, or put this in your pipe or start looking at it. Maybe a bear call spread on Amazon. I don't want to put a top on it right now. Buy an MGA. Did you see what happened yesterday when the Attorney General, the news broke? I was like on the roof and I got a Wall Street Journal alert. DC Attorney General filing lawsuit against Amazon. The stock went what? Bleep. Nothing. Did you read in the Wall Street Journal why Amazon's being sued? I love it. In my flight suit, I was like, that's gross. Really, Amazon? That's what you do? In my Gordon Gekko Armani, it's fantastic what they did and what they do. We will hear about this case 3 years from now on the conservative side. It's a joke. So, and if you saw that breaking news and looked at the Amazon chart and were worried for a second, thanks, Lori and John. I missed you guys too. That was a perfect example of the market just kind of laughing at Uncle Sam, like, okay, you and going after Amazon for that. Good luck. And the Amazon response, to be honest with you, was fantastic. It's like, actually, if you do this to us, things are going to be a hell of a lot worse. So we look forward. They're like, matter of fact, if you do this, we'll make more money. I love it. Amazon is the Death Star. They're like Mercury. You smash them, they're going everywhere. So I'm selling 150 of the regular June expiration. So if I say June 21, what do? We go over to the calendar, we scroll down, and we see 1, 2, 3. So June 18th is the regular June expiration. Okay? Sell 150 of the 170s, buy 150 of the 169s. That's in case Amazon and Tesla just roll out of bed and hit the floor. We have some downside protection. You guys are all piling into this, so you're moving the prices on me. I'm going to click all or none. I'd go about 2 cent wide. The highest I'd go is about 29. The lowest I'd go is about 25. That's a good, nice range for today to try and get filled. While we're looking here, we talk about the bad. What's the bad? The bad would be this increasing in price. We want this spread to go to zero, technically. We want all 27 cents. We don't want all 27 cents, which is actually because pigs get slaughtered. We want 26, 25, or 24 cents. We want to take our profits. But if for some reason XLY starts going down, this will start increasing. We don't want that. So what would be a good potential eject point? Just double this credit you take in. What's that, 54? 54 cents would maybe, I don't say ejected 54. I can't tell you when to eject. You're flying the airplane, not me. When I go brief in a little bit with Doc, this jet doesn't have seats. We got parachutes. We're going to get ejection seats. We're going to brief when we bail out, right? We're not going to bail out immediately when that happens. We're going to bail out if the engine's on fire. Oh my God, the engine's on fire. Oh, Doc, where'd you go? How about we confirm the engine is on fire? Look at our EGT. look behind us. Is there any smoke? We look for things that should be indications that it's time to bail out, right? So give me a vertical head nod that maybe means that. All right. Now, well, I'm going to stick up here 27 because that's what I was trying to get. Let me click analyze, and the first place that our eyes go is right there. I, not you, I am risking 11 to potentially make 4. I love it. That's a good risk to reward ratio. Let me grab a screenshot of this. I will send this out in email and a text alert. And I'm going to send it out to the solo Amazon list. If you're not on the solo Amazon list, it'll be on, I'll put this on every service page. I'll click all the tags so everybody can see it, but I'll specifically blast this. So we're risking that to make that. If you're not okay with 11 grand, you don't do 150 contracts, folks. Do 1, do 300, do 1 million, do 0. That's not me. We know with a bull put spread, we make money 3 out of 4 ways. How do we make money? There's Amazon, the XLY. There's XLY. XLY goes up, cha-ching. XLY can just kind of level off and hang in the low 170s, cha-ching. It can even go down. It just needs to stay above our break even, which in this case is 169.73. How do we calculate that? Well, if we take in 27 cents, what is 170 minus 27 cents? All the math is done for you. In the old days, we had to do the mental math. All of this is calculated for you. Okay. Maria, let me close out from that. JP, thanks for bringing that up. I didn't debrief it, but the VXX bearish trades, somebody give me a weed rock. Who's your buddy? Who's your pal? If you did those bearish VXX trades, a couple of them, didn't we talk about them? I saw some of you. Good job, Mark. I saw some of you did like double verticals too, like you did the bear call spread and then added a put spread. I love hearing of your success, man. Your success is my success. God bless you. It puts a smile on my face to help my brothers and sisters out. All right, I'm going to fire this. I just fired it. And I'm going to give this over to my afterburner folks and my hunters. And then I'll send the text alert out. Let me go answer. Somebody just asked about that. So Maria, yeah, I bought the shares. I just, after meeting with, I bought the damn thing, not even doing what I did this weekend now. But yes, Maria, it has, MindMed has options. Mark, even though it was with paper trading, guess what? You're SPX just took a dump. You're getting your mind, your muscle, man, your muscle memory. I love the fact that you said paper trading. That's what you should be doing. Never put any real capital at risk until you paper trade. So you have that confidence to get airborne, right? But MindMed does, folks, have what? It's got options. So you could go out, you could fly all the way out in your Joint Strike Fighter to Jan of 2023 and buy some calls. Which ones would I buy? Hell, I would buy some lottery tickets. Go all the way. Let's take a look at. Hell, we could pull up all these strikes, couldn't we? Go all the way out. Look into the Jan 22s, the 5 strike. Look at the open interest in the volume. I'd go all the way out into the future and buy the Jan 23 7.5s. But 2 years from now, folks, MindMed could be $100 stock. Could you imagine that? There was some cryogenic stock my buddy told me about a couple years ago. It started out like this, like a $3 stock. I forget. It does like life extension shit. My buddy Orestes trades it. He got into it at 3. It's a $200 stock. He's made millions of dollars in it. He put like a couple grand in it, and I'm not saying that's going to happen with MindMed, but if what I've seen, not if what I've seen is real. If what I've seen can get scale, I'd get bearish on the pharmaceutical companies, folks. It's over. One weekend, addiction gone. Some of these guys
were freaking druggies. One weekend gone, years after treatment. One weekend. I am not joking, minimizing. I am as serious as a heart attack. Could you imagine? It's so powerful, guys. I'm blessed. I could not be happier. I know I sound tired, but when I tell you why my voice is hoarse, you guys you're gonna laugh. You won't laugh initially, and then you're gonna laugh. So good stuff. Let me blast this text and email out. Like I said, if you're not in solo Amazon, you might not get to text and email, but you were here. I'm not gonna go in and do like weekly options primary shoot 9 different texts because it will annoy you. So Karen, yes, Karen says, don't you think at some point the big boys will try to buy them? Absolutely. They have to, or they're going to get run over. So the people I talk to in this space are saying that they are already starting to poke around like, hey, what's going on over here? And somebody said, and I asked one of the doctors, I said, well, what if that happens? What if they buy a Mind Med just to put it on the shelf and go, well, nobody's going to do that. You can't. You can't buy iboga, the root iboga. You can't buy, first of all, 5-DMT is in your body. How can the government illegal something that is produced by your whatever gland? 5-DMT is in your body. So to Karen's point, you can't. All the doctors were like, they laughed at the pharmaceutical. I'm like, well, what if they swoop in and buy all this stuff? They're like, you can't. It's physically impossible. You can't go, I hereby trademark for Pfizer ibogaine. You can't. They're effed. They're screwed, and I love it. You can't do it. This is untouchable. Okay? Now, this is as soon as I said that, this is a potential threat. Why do I say this? MindMed might be the first mover, but that's pretty damn good. I feel like we're back in 99. I'm at Miramar flying, looking at eBay, Amazon, Netscape, blah, blah, all these companies going, which one should I invest in? It should have been Amazon, not Netscape or whatever. I feel this is an Amazon moment in the psychedelic space. And I hate using that term because people have a negative connotation. I will never again. I will use the plant. It's medicine, folks. A drug has never cured me. Medicine has. Okay, so it's a good red team, Karen. But all these guys laughed at me. They're like, you can't corner the market on this. So that could be a concern for MindMed, but they're the lead shit. They already have shit in phase 3. I mean, another one of these companies there will be. How about this? There will be multiple of these companies pop up. But look at Tesla. How many Porsche? I keep getting hit with Porsche emails like, buy the new electric Taycan. Everything's going to have everything's going to be electric. But guess what? First mover usually wins. Okay. All right, guys. I'll tell you what. Yeah, that's a good word to use. And you know, you actually, yeah, same thing with cannabinoid, Tamara. I'm going to sit here and fire out this text and email. I'm going to sit here a little bit longer, and I want to scroll up, and I'm going to read all the comments from the beginning because I couldn't keep up with them because I was in my zone. Okay, so you guys are cleared off. I'm flying up 9 a.m. tomorrow to go get my type rating, and after that, you guys are free to fly in the back seat, man. I can't wait. I already have a couple of you in the Max Afterburner group. We had like an earnings contest, like whoever got closest to whatever. So I owe like 2 or 3 people rides. I am buying another jet. I'm getting the one that's over in Houston. So make sure you have on your calendar that September 10th and 11th. Just write down 9, 10, 11. Because I think we're going to do a TGO event like on the 9th. The 10th will be the Warrior Health Foundation event, and then the 11th is the shoot. You're going to be on a team with a Navy SEAL or a Delta Force guy out on the range. So it'll be, and it's going to be great. And I'll try and get some more folks flying. Okay. Yeah, I will, Karen. Exactly. Yeah, it's the 9/11 anniversary. Yep, that's another reason we're choosing those dates. So, Catherine, this is recorded, and absolutely, I'll post the replay as soon as I'm done, as soon as it's done rendering. Okay, but I gotta get going because I gotta get to the airport. All right, guys. Yes, Catherine, I will. I promise. You have my word. I'm going to give you my debrief. I can't give it to you now until somebody's. I'm not going to use this term lightly. I feel like I am a disciple after this weekend. I don't think I would have ever heard that word leave my mouth. So I'm gonna let my new brothers do their debriefs with their folks, especially because of their national stage, and then I will. You guys will be the second one to know. So. Eyes wide open, Karen. It is. I'm a new man, and I thank God. So, all right, guys. I missed you. I love you guys. I thank God for you, obviously. And I will talk to you. I'll do a sit rep tomorrow and Friday, and I'll let you know how to check ride and stuff like that. Other than that, let's get back and hit it hard next week with a normal flight schedule. Okay. Have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge, and God bless you. And namaste. I'll talk to y'all later. Like I said, I'm going to keep the screen up so I can type and read the comments, but I'll talk to you guys later. We'll see you.